Okay, it is DMAC with my guys Reed from Premier Heating and Air and Tom Weinrich from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, American Standard Dealer. What's going on, guys? How we doing today?
Doing good. Fantastic. We're loving this temperature, loving this weather.
Yeah, so how has the week been? I mean, we had Reed, let's just start with you. What were the calls like for you this week?
Yeah, it's actually we got a little bit of a break in the weather, and so we're kind of catching up a little bit right now.
Yeah, and anything for you, Tom?
Oh, I got to tell you, the phones are just going crazy. We're actually opening a little bit earlier to try and handle some of the volume, but
wow,
just nonstop.
Okay, and what are you hearing from most people, Tom?
DMAC, it really is. We've got a combination of most of the contractors are saying we've got a fair amount of change outs, which is existing systems. But then we are also seeing quite a few new systems. So maybe people that bought the newer houses and didn't get the air conditioning option from the builder. So those are the new installs. But a lot of the contractors that we're dealing with, exactly like Reed and his guys, which is, it's a ton of just replacement systems that have failed.
Reed, you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same things. You still have some people that held out on AC for a long time, and they're finally making the move to get it.
Well, I just got to out myself here, guys. I mean, here we go. Are you ready for this? I don't know if Tom knows this. Have you talked? Well,
we talk daily, DMAC.
Okay. All right. So when it came to a home inspection, because I just moved into a new home, okay? And it was cool when we were in there. I wasn't there for the home inspection. And frankly, and Reed, you guys did the inspection for my home. You did. You guys did. Mm-hmm. So that went fine. No problems, because I use Premier Heating and Air. I have forever. No big deals. Right, Reed? We had no problems, correct?
Exactly.
Right? In fact, not only that, I think the people that bought our home lucked out, because we have some gadgets in there, Reed, don't we, that most places don't even have. So we had an updated system that was healthy as a horse and had been there for a minute, but working well. Am I right on all of that, Reed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Set up.
Well, the people buying my house were set up. Let's be straight on that.
Yeah.
I wasn't here when we did the home inspection. My wife was, but I don't expect her to be an expert. I trust the inspector, right? And it wasn't, and there's something about like, we can't turn on the air conditioning if it's a certain temperature. I don't know, something like that. So I'm like, all right, okay. The guy inspected the house, everything. Oh, I don't know. Everything checked the boxes. Everything was fine. Well, turns out, Tom, we have massive problems in our home. Massive. Like, Reed, what was it? A blade was cut off. It's part of the air conditioning system, and it was chipping away at the what was going on there? Do you even know?
Yeah, I saw a video of it. It looked like one of those old planes, like back in the day, that was trying to take off. Like, I don't know what happened there. Was your neighbor complaining to you at all?
I have that. Well, again, I just live here for a month. Nobody's complaining to me about anything right now. And we weren't turning on the air conditioning. Oh, you think it was Sabbath? I don't know. I have no idea what the previous homeowner was getting in trouble with the neighbors. Who knows?
Yeah.
But like, that's not all, folks. We go inside to look at, the entire HVAC system. And Reed, you want to describe for Tom and everybody paying attention here what you saw?
I just saw the video of the outdoor unit.
Oh, you didn't even
see what's going on inside? No.
Oh, it's a disaster in there too.
Okay.
And your guy Bryce, who came out, and by the way, let me say this. When I had an issue and I contacted Premier within 90 minutes, it was unbelievably fast. And your guy Bryce had a call out, I think, in Castle Rock, but he had no problem coming over here. He was prompt, like he was waiting outside. I couldn't believe he was here so fast. I wasn't ready for somebody. He was prompt. He was courteous. He was professional, taking video and showing me exactly what it was, even though, what do I know? So Premier was checking all the boxes. Let me tell you that. It was fantastic. But then he also goes, this is a disaster. That was his. He was like, "How did this pass inspection?" And I'm feeling a little embarrassed considering I'm hosting this show with you guys, and I shouldn't be embarrassed. I'm really probably like a lot of homeowners, right? I don't know that much about my own equipment, and I needed a professional to come check it out. And sure enough, it was a disaster. Now, what was the inspector that we had thinking when he looked at our home? I don't know. I'll have to address that later, right? I mean, how about that, guys? Do you hear stories like mine where there's a home sold and perhaps the inspector didn't do their job, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, we've ran into quite a bit of that in the last 2 or 3 years. There was a time where people were waiving inspections and things like that. I wish we could have got in there beforehand, but that's something I would definitely recommend.
Yes.
But it's okay, DMAC. We'll take care of you.
I know you will, but Tom, I feel like a dummy. Like, how about some advice for everybody out there? If you're purchasing a home, you could get Premier, right, Reed, to come out and so you don't rely on just the inspector who's inspecting 10 million things. Get Premier out there and get them. What would that be? What would that charge even be, Reed? Because it would be for a future purchase. What would that be?
Yeah, so right now it's $89 is what it would be, and it's a tune-up and inspection, and we're going through and looking at everything, even if there's nothing kind of visually wrong with it. We're going to test out all the components and all the little parts and pieces, and just look out. And yeah, if you're selling a house, I mean, you have a home inspector come in there, but especially on the HVAC, getting somebody in that's really going to look at it thoroughly and, hopefully prevent that kind of situation.
Yeah, Tom, I'm such a dummy, Tom.
Well, now, DMAC, I want to make sure that we for the listeners that listen to us every week on Saturday mornings. Last week, we talked about what sound it makes.
Right.
So were you able to come up with a sound that this thing made for
Well, like Reed said, it was like a propeller blade that was broken off, okay? And it was hitting the metal grating. So it was like, but folks, that's not all. Because it was unbalanced, it was slightly lifting the entire unit off the air, up off the ground. So it's because it was the hitting the metal as it's spinning. Well, actually, it's more like
it's like when you're dry or you're washing your sheets and you're
Yes, and it's
I've been doing this for over 15 years, DMAC. I've never seen anything quite like that.
Right. And like Bryce said, so anyways, all right. So what am I? And we'll see. We'll when you feel like you're getting one pulled over your eye, you know what I'm saying, guys? Yeah. When you feel like you're getting fleeced a little bit, because how does the previous homeowner not know this? And how does the inspector sort of,
yeah.
But I made the cardinal mistake. This would have been so easy for me to do. I mean, once I had a problem, I called Premier, 720-547-8009, PremierAirColorado.com. Somebody from Premier, Bryce, who seems like a great guy from South Carolina, big college football guy. He comes over within 90 minutes, and it would have been like that had I just done the right thing. So I'm outing myself, Reed, but I'm giving good advice too at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, DMAC, all of your listeners need to make sure that they have Reed's phone number in their pocket. Just like you do. Everybody needs to have his number in their pocket. So when they run into a problem, maybe it's not a new house, but maybe the unit just fails. They need to make sure that Reed's got his guys coming out here, whether it's 90 minutes or 120 or 150 minutes, at least have his number in their pocket.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce came quick, but what's your average response time, Reed, when you've got situations when you guys can get out? Ish.
Usually, I mean, even this time of year, it's same day.
Yeah.
Usually within a few hours, and it kind of varies. We definitely prioritize when people don't have cooling, when they got an emergency situation like that. We're going to get out there right away. So like Tom said, I mean, it's good to have somebody reliable that, kind of in your back pocket. And we're definitely that company. I mean, we'll take care of you, no matter what the situation is. So, and I think for you, I mean, I'll work with Tom. We'll definitely, see, like it's all going to be okay.
All right, here's what we got to do. Here, listen, I am the guinea pig's guinea pig.
Yeah.
But here, you guys got to come out, or whoever comes out, video I should have a video. I'll get a video and just show it because it's so ridiculous what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't turn on the air conditioning very long. Actually, Bryce would have a video, doesn't he? You guys actually already have a video.
I'll have him send it over to you.
Yeah, send it to you, and send it to me too, and we can actually play it. You won't believe it. Next week. Next week.
Mm-hmm.
For you can hear, it's ridiculous. It's like the most ridiculous thing of all time. So yeah, just send that over and you'll see it. So so what am I looking at, Reed? I'm looking at probably a whole new system, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got the old refrigerant in there, right? Other than the fan blade issue. So replacing the AC. I think the furnace is kind of in the same boat, like you said. So
18 years old. Yep, probably.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, ultimately that's a pretty good run for a system. They average about 10, 15 years, just depending on, how well you take care of them and everything. But it's that time, and the good thing for you is, about all the technology and all that, and we're going to deck it out.
Nice. We're going to get it going.
Yeah.
And Tom, I'm doing okay. Listen, it sucked. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was, we were topping like 100 degrees, right there, fellas. I mean, it wasn't great, but I just felt stupid. And I guess it was great how nice Bryce was, because it would have been easy to be dismissive and made me feel bad about it, and that just would have been a lousy experience. But Bryce wasn't. He wasn't at all. Like, he was so cool about it that it felt good, Tom. I mean, when you're dealing with customers that don't know what they're doing, you can't treat them like idiots, right, Tom?
Well, and here's the thing, DMAC. You did business with Reed and his guys at Premier for your first home. And
yes.
You got the decked out system, you got the Mac Daddy, you got everything that you really wanted.
Yeah.
And here you are, you're moving into a new house, and you're one of the rare people that buy two systems in a life.
Okay.
Most people buy typically one system, one HVAC system in their lifetime. I mean, they're living in one house and they live in there for a long time.
Right.
You guys did your downsizing. You moved to a different house.
Right.
Great thing is you've got the guys to call.
Right.
When you've got a problem. So, the great thing is you're going to be able to turn right around. You're going to be able to get the same system.
Yeah.
Even a newer one than what you had in the old house. I mean, I can't wait to have a conversation after that system's installed and find out how much more comfortable you are.
To me, it's kind of a catch-22. On one hand, it's frustrating because you buy a new place and you just want everything to be great. However, my wife and I love our new place, and we see ourselves here for a long, long time, Reed. So for us, you know what? It's kind of like you might as well just get it over with, right? And I'd rather just have everything set up at the beginning. And even though we got to suffer through a few rough days, which we've had, I know I'm going to have a lifetime of comfort because of this. And I do wonder if that's something that you kind of emphasize to people, or they realize, like, hey man, this is it. Like Tom just said, you're going to have this for a long time. So you may as well just, be good with it. Be all right with it.
Yep. It's, that's one thing we always talk about too. I mean, this is a long-term investment.
Mm-hmm.
And, the system that you go with and the company that you have, do the installation and everything. I mean, it's extremely important, because if you do it right from the beginning, yeah, you shouldn't have to worry about it for a very long time.
Yeah, it's Premier Heating and Air, 720-547-8009, premieraircolorado.com. Hey, Tom, why don't you talk about your relationship with Reed and Premier and what you guys mean to each other and what you guys do for each other?
Well, he's first and foremost, he's my golf coach. No, we've got.
I'm not a very good coach, I guess.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Taking some shots at Tom. I love
it. No, I got to tell you, he's great. He and his team are amazing. I mean, they're in our shop every morning, loading up their vans, dropping off the stuff from the previous day. And, our teams really work very, very well together. Reed has one of his top guys, Dan, on his staff, and Reed and Dan get all the orders in from the sales guys throughout the day, and they load them right into my system within my organization. So it's they basically write their own orders, and we get them all staged and ready to go for them. And these guys are in and out of here, and nothing flat. But that's not without a little bit of jazzing from the two teams, and they have fun with each other, and they slap each other on the back, and they just look forward to seeing each other each day. And our partnership is just second to none. It really is. It makes it enjoyable to do business, because there are certain times during business it's a little more difficult, and sometimes it's a little bit more fun. But it's just a lot more fun to do business with the guys at Premier, because they're professionals, but they like to have fun at the same time.
Reed, how about you with American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning?
Yeah, it's, like Tom said, I mean, we have a good relationship. I think we both really look for those kind of people that, good people that take pride in what they're doing and have a little fun while you're at it too, Yeah. But yeah, we love this time of year, even though it's busy. Like we prefer that than, the slower times. So yeah, everybody's kind of cranking this time of year. We're moving around, and a lot of things to do right now.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. Maybe talk about the folks that work for you. It was great to get to know Bryce a little bit, who his wife or girlfriend, I'm not exactly sure, but his better half is doing something with School of Mines. She's the smart one, but he's the clever one, perhaps. And he was just like, well, what I do, I can do anywhere. But talk about those opportunities that present, because maybe somebody's out there and they're thinking maybe this is a craft, a business I could get into. Reed, what's that process like, getting somebody going with that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for people like Bryce, the integrity and good people. And it's one of those things, we're not necessarily like, we get a lot of people from trade schools and from all around the country, that are, Colorado is an amazing place. So, it's easier to kind of try to get people that want to move in here. But a big thing for us, it's not necessarily about, previous experience or anything. You don't really have to have a lot of experience. We do a lot of the training. We work with Tom over there. They have a good training facility, but we're doing all the training kind of from beginning to end, and, all the way in between too. So it's a good, HVAC is definitely, or any of the trades, but especially HVAC, there's a lot of opportunity in that. You can be an installer, you can get into service. We have people working in our front office, and, it's really a career. It's not just, a kind of a job type of thing. You can make a good living, you can support your family, and kind of enjoy what you're doing too.
Tom, what are you looking for with employees?
Well, yeah, same kind of thing. We're looking for the people that have integrity. We're really looking for, DMAC, the Gen Z and the millennial, because that's the next group of individuals that are coming up through our industry. And we are partnering with a couple of local high schools here and there.
Oh,
And I don't know if you remember back in our day, we had shop class.
absolutely. Votech. I think they called it Votech back in my day, but yeah, if that rings a bell.
Yeah, and a lot of that went by the wayside, and but it's really starting to come back around. And so we're supporting a couple of high schools that have got their own HVAC training within the school system, right?
That's great.
The local high schools. And if you really think about our industry, we are one of the few industries that it's necessary 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
Because we're always needing heating or cooling. One or the other.
Absolutely.
Even in Colorado, when we get some of the mild days, but we get some really cold days in January, February. And we also get the really hot days in June and July. We know that.
Right. You know, that's a fascinating thing too, in terms of just developing. Listen, I got nothing wrong with going to college. Okay.
No.
You know, okay. You get out of college and it's like, now what do I do? And I mean, you know, let's be honest. I mean, you know, listen, it's like I quit my day job for this radio thing. I literally gave myself no choice. But when I look back and I'm like, what in the world was I thinking? I mean, I'm staggering to the end, fellas, but you know, it's okay. But what a great career. What a sustain. And like in Bryce's case, I live in South Carolina. My girlfriend has an opportunity in Colorado. No big deal. I got a skill. I got a craft. I can go anywhere. Right.
Yep.
Right, Reed?
Yeah. 100% correct. And I mean, that's kind of similar. I went to college, you know, and when I got out of school, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And, you know, I was working at an HVAC company while I was in school, you know, knocking on doors, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then, you know, I had an opportunity to get into sales, and here I am, you know, so I'm still in the HVAC industry. I wish I would have figured that out before I went to college and spent all that money, but
wait a second. Hey, you wouldn't give up being a CSU Ram for anything, though.
No,
come on, Reed.
no,
I know you. You're proud to be a CSU Ram, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it's something, and like Tom said too, it's you know, becoming more and more popular. People are starting to look for alternatives other than going to college. I mean, college is great. It's not necessarily for everybody.
Right.
But yeah, you can get into the trades and, you know, do very well and not have all that debt when you get out.
Tom, what was your path?
Well, yeah. So similar to Reed's, I went off to college and life changed and it ended up to where I wasn't able to finish because of family challenges, but I had no idea. I mean, I grew up in a family business, and the one thing my dad always told me, he said, don't ever go into business for yourself because you're the last guy to get paid.
Right. Right.
So
right.
What does any good young man do? Not listen to his dad.
Right.
So I went into business for myself, and I got to tell you, it's been the most fulfilling career of my entire life. I've been doing it 38 years.
Awesome.
Well, in fact, just in May, it was 38 years. And I got to tell you, I couldn't have chosen a better path. Even though I didn't get the opportunity to finish college, I get to be a part of changing people's lives for the better, whether that be the team of individuals that work for us every day, or whether it's the customers we get to work with, or whether it's the customers they get to work with. It's life-changing, and it's truly beneficial. I love it.
Well, that is so awesome. And again, you can reach out to Premier for all sorts of things, including job opportunities, perhaps at 303-547-8009, premieraircolorado.com. And Tom works for American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. And together, we bring you the Premier Heating and Air Show every Saturday at 7:30. And we love it. All right, give us some tips for this week, Reed. Give us some needs to know. What do we needs to know here this week, Reed?
So at this point in the summer, you know, the AC's been running for 2 or 3 weeks pretty consistently now. And there's a couple things to kind of look for. We see a lot of people that run into issues where, you know, so when your AC runs, there's a lot of water that's coming out of your system. It's
Mm.
basically removing humidity from the air, and people will start to see issues with drains clogging up or things like that. Or if they have a dirty filter, we always talk about this, but the system will freeze up, and then you'll get a little bit of that drainage when it kind of thaws out. So those are some things to kind of look for. If your AC is like taking off on the side of your house,
Oh my God.
Watch out for that,
Oh my God. So embarrassing.
But yeah,
aside from that, you're fine. Yeah. If you have an alien next to your house and your air conditioning system, that might be an issue. Thanks for the advice, Reed. We got it. Tom, anything we need to know from you this week? What should we be watching out for?
It really is. It's paying attention to the maintenance. A lot of people really want to, and Reed runs into these folks all the time. They think that the button on that thermostat is similar to an accelerator. They turn it all the way down to 62 or 65. It's going to get there quicker.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way to do it. Just set it at the proper temperature that you want it to be, whether that be 72 or 75 degrees, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Set it there and let the system do what it needs to do. And the other thing is, when we run into these really hot days like this, don't let your thermostat set back or set a higher temperature too far, because what happens is during those hot days, everything in the house warms up. So if you set your thermostat to 80 degrees while you're at work, the walls, the floor, the counters, the furniture, all of that ends up being 80 degrees. And your system has to cool all of that down, and it just uses a ton of energy. So really don't set it quite so far back on these really hot days.
Okay. Great advice. Great guys. And thanks for making fun of me. And thanks for making me.
Only your friends can do that to you.
Only your friends. Only your good friends. And Tom, keep working on that golf game, my man. Well, no, by the way, notice Reed didn't say he was a bad golfer. He just said he was a bad coach with you.
Well, it's only me that's the bad student. So apparently Reed needs to spend a little bit more time with his student.
Well, yeah. Yes.
But we're going to wait till after the summer when we can actually concentrate on it.
Yeah, we don't get to golf too much this time of year. So
I feel it. Listen, it'll cool down. When we got some time, we'll all go out and we can all be poorly coached by Reed. That would look forward to that particular day.
Hey, just because you're good doesn't mean that you can coach it.
Hey, listen, if Rory can miss a 3-footer, we can all miss 3-footers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can all not do that too. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for today. Again, to get a hold of Premier, 303-547 or 720, 547-8009 and PremierAirColorado.com. And thank you, of course, to American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning as well. They put everything together with Reed, and together we enjoy talking to you every Saturday morning. Guys, have a fabulous week. And I don't know. I mean, my home's just going to be its own adventure, guys. We have a new star of the show, my house. So it'll be interesting, actually, won't it? We can go through it step by step. So now we're going to get the estimate. Now we're going to see this. We're going to get the work done. It'll be good. I mean, big picture, big idiot, big picture. It'll be good. And thanks to you guys. We'll talk to you next week. Okay, boys?
Hey, sounds like
thanks.
Do a field trip, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. It's Altitude Sports Radio.